escape plan. Carefully timed it, so let me go and dive into the waves below. Who tends the orchard? Who fixes up the gables? Emotional torture from the head of your high table. Who fetches the water from the Rocky Mountain spring and walk back down again to feel your words and their sharp sting? And I'm getting fucking tired. The capillaries in my eyes are bursting. If our love died, would that be the worst thing? For somebody I thought was my savior, sure make me do a whole lot of labor. The kind of skin on my hands is cracking. If our love ends, would that be a bad thing? And the silence haunts of a chamber. You make me do too much labor. Apologies for my tongue, and never yours. Busy lapping from flowing cup and stabbing with your fork. I know you're a smart man, and weaponize the false incompetence. It's dominance under a guise. If we had a daughter, I'd watch and could not save her. The emotional torture from the head of your high table. She'd do what he taught her. She'd meet the same cruel fate. So now I've gotta run so I can undo this mistake. At least I've gotta try. The capillaries in my eyes are bursting. If our love died, would that be the worst thing? For somebody I thought was my savior, sure make me do a whole lot of labor. The kind of skin on my hands is cracking. If our love ends, would that be a bad thing? And the silence haunts of a chamber. You make me do too much labor. All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, lift to attendance, so that he never lifts a finger. 24/7 baby machine, so he can live out his picket fence dreams. It's not an act of love if you make her. You make me do too much labor. All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, lift to attendance, so that he never lifts a finger. 24/7 baby machine, so he can live out his picket fence dreams. It's not an act of love if you make her. You make me do too much labor. The capillaries in my eyes are bursting. If our love died, would that be the worst thing? For somebody I thought was my savior, sure make me do a whole lot of labor. Because I stand on my hands, is cracking. If our love ends, would that be a bad thing? And the silence haunts of a chamber. You make me do too much labor.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Feels like I took a long break. Feels that way to me. Hopefully it feels like that to some of you as well. I like that I was gone for one day, and this makes me feel loved. And like 3 people messaged me asking if I was okay, which I appreciated that. But yes, I was out of town with doing Friendsgiving, which is like Thanksgiving, but where you're thankful with your friends instead of your family. And it was great. It was a great time. Don't have my shades on because I had to borrow them to a friend whose prescription happens to match because her glasses broke. And then she forgot to give them back to me. So now I'm going to be raw dogging it against this like aggressive ring light I have, okay? But that's neither here nor there. We're going to be reacting to Piers Morgan, of all people, versus 20 woke liberals. What could possibly go wrong? Nothing. Nothing could go wrong. It's not going to get heated at all. It's going to be totally normal. This is a little break from Hamas Piker, okay? I was getting a little too ornery. You know, I always want to be a little mad, you know? And then I felt like, you know, the madness was a little overwhelming. You know, if you peer into the abyss peers back into you. And that is especially true. And the abyss is Hassan Piker. So, yeah. And this dropped like 5 hours ago, by the way. It's just like hot off the presses. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, Hassan can wait, okay? He ain't going anywhere, okay? I am so kind, Marilyn. Thank you. I am. L stream, Big Soda. No L stream. Hit the like Marilyn said. Listen to Marilyn, not Big Soda. Big Soda, you gonna pop up here? Yeah, you are. Marilyn, you gonna pop up here? Look, this is a more interesting topic. I feel like more in line with your wheelhouse, you know? Crazy people fighting together about not super political things this time. Although, I mean, it is called woke liberal, so there might be some politics, you know, it's I can't promise anything. Good to see you, Big Soda. Oh, Sevens, brother.
Good to see you too, buddy. I was wondering if you were going to hop on tonight. I was kind of bored.
Me too. And now we can be not bored together, not in a gay way, in a normal way.
Not in a gay way.
Not in a gay way. Let me see if I have this set up right. So I'm assuming no one has seen this unless they like watched it the moment it came out. In which case, you are too close to Jubilee. If you see that Jubilee notification, your first thing is to drop everything and watch it. Brother, you got a problem. Or sister.
Yeah, there's probably something wrong there.
Yeah, probably. And yes, Marilyn, I will show you, well, and us, and me. I haven't seen this either. Peak slop, okay? Because this is, I mean, Piers Morgan. I like Piers Morgan. You know, I do. He's a bit crazy, and he brings on panels that are more chaotic than the panels that I have, which, you know, it's something I aspire toward. How can I get my panels as unhinged as Piers Morgan's, you know? So I kind of look up to him in that way, as a mentor figure, if you will, you know?
I mean, yeah, he does have some wild panels.
Yeah, he knows how to make shit happen. He knows to get the right people at the right time, in the right place, you know, and I feel like I've accomplished that to some degree recently, you know. There's Ryan versus all of us, the last stream, you know, the Maryland versus Section 230 stream before that, unintentional, but, you know, I'm kind of stumbling into it, you know, into the insanity.
It seems like, what, 3 in a row you've had some pretty intense streams?
Yeah, because I think the one before that was the whoremonger one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
They haven't all been like handled well, but you know, they've all been intense.
You're learning, you're growing with it.
Learning how to match the drama with the you know, the knowing when to stop the drama. But we're unlearning that today, but from a distance, as we watch people that will be screaming at each other, I'm sure, the whole time. You ready to get into this, Big Soda? Big Soda's dead.
I came back. The spectrum is kind of fluctuating right now.
I said, Big Soda, are you ready to get into this right now?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you do guess. That doesn't sound very confident.
Well, I don't think it's up to me, so we were going to get into it, whether I was ready or not.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you feel free to pull out the charts and maps and graphs, if you want to get those ready in the back chat, right? I mean, I'm sure we will end up in that territory. And I think I'm kind of excited about this video because I feel like these claims will be a lot easier. Like, see, Marilyn, look, masculinity. Marilyn, you love talking about that. Okay, I have convinced Marilyn. Yes, I have convinced her. I don't even think I needed to say the masculinity part. You know, this isn't all like deep politics. It's not going to derail us into Russia, Ukraine. Shouldn't even say it. For the risk of derailing.
I'm going to be honest. Don't count it out.
Yeah, actually, I shouldn't count it out. But it's going to be a better mix of things, hopefully. Although I do want to fish this on Piker at some point. Doomerang says, get the chart. Yes. I just need a wall version of every chart and a world map at my disposal. Disposable at my disposal. A disposable world map at my disposal. Anyway, Maryland will be coming. Doomerang's here. Big Soda's here. I mean, Agrillapolis, still can't say his name. What the heck? He said he was going to be stopping by at some point. Maybe we'll have some adversarial wokesters to stop by. Who knows? You know.
I hope so.
Wouldn't mind being on the right side of history for a change. You know.
Yeah, you're not used to that, are you?
Not always. Oh, and Thumping Weevil will be coming too, she just said. So that's That's like almost the whole gang. You know, you add K2, for the Frankster to the mix. I mean, cool boy. It's gonna be a night. It's gonna be a night. I'm assuming K2 and Frank are coming. I'm just assuming, that, especially if they're working. I mean, why else? Why would you not be watching my stream at work? But let's dive into it.
Am I carrying? The Wokies are around me. Stop talking.
Marilyn, 07s to you, Marilyn.
0707.
Good to see you, Mary.
It is
Hey,
great to
guys.
see you.
Good to see you too. So what are we doing?
We're reacting.
Torturing ourselves?
Torturing ourselves with Piers Morgan, famous centrist journalist who hosts insane panels fighting with 20 people.
Whoa.
And as you can see right now, he is talking to Parker. I don't know if you guys know who Parker is. Parker is a very annoying TikToker, one of the most annoying TikTokers, in fact.
I think I've seen him before.
Yeah, so there will be spurging. Trigger warning for those of you who are sensitive. There will be a lot of spurging going on, okay? And we're gonna have to keep up, okay? Maybe we'll 2.2 times the speed,
It's a liberal arguing against even more liberals.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's exactly what we're
Like,
diving
it's
into.
Peak
It's
flop.
getting out of hand at this point.
Parker Fluence says Doomerang. That's even, the names get worse. That's worse. I think, well, no, I'd probably rather still be Parker Fluence than Hassan Fluence. I think that one is still the worst one.
I don't know. See, this is where I tend to differ. I think there's a little malevolence when Parker debates, and with Hassan, I think he's just an idiot.
Actually, that's fair. Hassan is he's got that himbo energy,
He believes it, or it's kind of the concept of what he believes. He genuinely believes that, or at least that's the impression I get.
Yeah.
With Parker, it just sounds like he's smart enough to know some of the things he's arguing doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I agree. Him and Dean Withers, they're like the three horsemen of the woke apocalypse. Is him, Dean Withers, and then Harry Sison, or whatever his name is. And then the other one,
Does he debate a lot?
He's been on Piers Morgan a few times. He doesn't debate as much as Dean and Parker. And then the fourth one that I actually like, and I'll get hate for this, I don't know who knows him, Luke Beasley. I actually really like Luke Beasley. I think he's a good guy. He's the lefty. He's super lefty, but I think he's a nice guy. He's been on like Tim Pool and a few other places, and also a TikToker that does politics. But he actually seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, I think I've heard of him.
I think he was on a Jubilee surrounded, actually. I think he went against like 20 mega people or something, but he seems like a decent person. Oh, K2 in the house. Good to see you, K2. Okay, first topic, I think it's going to be about masculinity, but we get an unhinged intro first, as per usual, to really get us locked in.
Way. It's literally participation trophies not being there.
Advantage is so annoying. Look,
Have you been on your own show? You interrupted me the whole time, and now you're just getting the same thing.
So me
Order people
telling
to do
you
it.
that you are spreading misinformation, that is not fascism. That is just me telling you you're wrong.
but you're not telling me I'm wrong because I'm right. Hi, I'm Piers Morgan, and I'm the host of Piers Morgan Uncensored on YouTube. I'm also the author of a new book, Woke is Dead, and today I'm surrounded by 20...
Frankie, good to see you.
Good to see you too. How you doing? So I'm gonna stay on for till 8 o'clock or so because I'm actually going to stream on my Twitch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stream Hitman. I'm gonna stream Hitman on my Twitch.
Hell yeah.
Good
You need
stuff.
to put your link in the chat so everybody can follow it.
Yeah, I'll leave it right now.
Yeah, put your link in. If it might not show up, you won't have to put it in the back chat, and then Thumping or me can put it in because I think it blocks links. But yeah.
Well, it's basically just just Frankie Too Sweet on Twitch. So I kind of keep it on.
Okay, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, last time I streamed. What was it? Yesterday. I streamed yesterday, and I did it for an hour and a half until it knocked me. My internet got knocked off for some reason, but that's how shit happens. It's good to see you again, Confluence. I thought you died.
A lot of people thought that apparently. But no, I'm Confluence. Always be living, okay? Always be living.
Always.
Always.
So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Piers Morgan because Piers Morgan is a lefty. He's not a conservative at all. He's a lefty.
I would say he's liberal, yeah.
Because like I
Count
remember
liberal
him and
lefties.
Alex Jones went at. I remember him and Alex Jones went at it like 10 years back or something like that. It was like one of the stupidest shit I ever saw.
Yeah, I'm like
Alex
mixed
Jones.
on him. Boomerang says Meryl influence. That's the best nickname you've ever given me, K2. Or yeah, who said? Oh yeah, K2 said that. Boomerang wouldn't be so kind.
Look, we all know Marilyn is running the panel right now. We all know this.
I did nothing of the sort. We haven't even gotten the video yet.
Piers Morgan, the reason I tend to like him is because he's someone in real time who looked at like leftist ideology and was like, "Holy fuck, that's too far."
Yeah, I agree with you. That I agree with.
And you don't have a lot of examples of that. Like, I mean, some people have done it, but very rare people have stayed like on the left and still been like, "That shit right there is too far."
What I do agree with Piers Morgan that he is adamantly defending women's sports. I do agree with that wholeheartedly, because the whole recent debacle of that strong man that turned into a woman that shattered women's records and became the champion of strong women. That's just ridiculous.
Oh,
He was like number 453 in terms of strongmen. Like he can't live where Brian Shaw lives. And Brian Shaw lost nearly 100 pounds.
I mean, isn't that the same argument with like Leah Thompson?
Yeah,
Leah
same
Thomas,
argument.
Leah Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, but strongman is like different though. You know, strongman is different because, you know, if you're a strongman, that means something, right? That actually means something. Like for me, because I grew up watching strongman. I grew up watching, you know, Magnus Magnuson, Phil Pfister. What was the other names? You know, like Zerna Zavickas, all like those dudes. And I started watching always a Bill Kazmaier and Jan Paul Sigmason. It's like those dudes are just in another realm of strength. And you tell me that you can't tell me that you're a man that you turn into a woman that you're gonna be shattered the records. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get fucked, homie.
We remember South Park made that parody video about
They predicted the fucking future. They fucking predicted the future.
Okay, to be fair, I think they were a little behind because I think the Leah Thomas stuff happened before that episode, but they're really good at reading the culture.
Yeah, but to see if you guys agree with me on this, South Park is the bastion of free speech right now. They fucking go after everybody.
Last season kind of sucked though, and I'm not just saying that because it goes after Trump. It was kind of lazy. Last season felt lazy to me.
Yeah,
I agree with that. You talking about like, the Charlie Kirk stuff, or not that it's fun. It's funny because I know who they're talking about, but the episode itself wasn't like this well drawn out episode. It was kind of cheeky and
and what's that? The immigration lady, and what's her fucking name?
Nomi or
Christine Nome. Yeah,
Nome.
like her killing her dog. It's like, okay, so that was funny, but then it happened like 20 times in the episode. It's like, okay, it's funny the first time. Okay, the second time.
Yeah.
It's like, get a new joke by the third time.
Well, but like I still believe my statement still stands though, because you know they go after everybody, and they're gay radical atheists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one of my favorite episodes from South Park is the fucking Easter Bunny special. That I fucking love that. That was so hilarious.
There's the C19 stuff I thought was super funny. The special on that. Okay. It's shout outs to K2 with the $2. What the fuck? Where is the sunglasses and read chat? Yeah, my eyes are so exposed. I already had said this K2 before you joined, but was out at a weekend thing. My friend's glasses broke and we have similar prescriptions. And we were like out in the boonies. And so I was like, wait, you wear the sunglasses and then see if you can see. And it was at least better. But then I forgot to grab them from her. So now I'm just, in my commie glasses.
You basically got cucked.
Yeah, it actually was my ex-girlfriend too, weirdly enough. So in a way.
That's crazy.
In a way.
Nasty work.
Now here's a question. Now, here's a question for you. Do you believe that Piers Morgan would be able to, in a sense, get through to these people or no?
Oh, to these people? Almost certainly not. I mean, I can recognize some of them. Like, I don't know if anyone could see my mouse. Probably not. Girl in the upper right, I'm pretty sure, is that the girl that's been on here before? Or maybe I'm upper right, black chick. I can't tell if is that the person that was, maybe I'm face blind and or race blind.
That's probably the same chick on whatever that.
That chick. Yeah, that chick. And then over on the left, the guy with the beard on the far left, that guy's name is Mason, I think, and he's like, you're never changing his mind. There's a few others, obviously Parker's here. There's at least like 7 people I've seen before, and it's like at least those people are like, they're not gonna have their mind changed. But there's some new blood too that I haven't seen before. So there's usually like 1 or 2 people that are like semi-reasonable, you know?
To be honest, I don't think so, because I think a lot of people on Jubilee and in real life share the ideological trait of there is no truth but power. So even if you have the truth on your side, unless like their beliefs are shattered, I don't think you can ever kind of convince them.
Well,
K2 donates and says, put on a hat then. Mean K2. K2, if you donate more, I'll put on a really crazy hat. How about that? Okay. That will look ridiculous, but it will cover my hairline, you know? That's the dono goal for today. $5 for me to wear a retarded hat.
I just find it so like sad. That's the right word. I find it just sad that certain people just vehemently hate other people because they have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
I find that very sad because it's like for example, I like harpy eagles. As you can tell, I have a harpy eagle on my fucking avatar.
They eat monkeys.
But then, somebody who's like a fucking like avid animal fucking rights person, like, oh my god, that's so mean in there. It's like, it's called a circle of life, dumbass. It's like, do you judge when the hawk kills, or when the wolf kills, or when the shark kills? That's life.
What about when the man kills then? Is that not life? K2 has donated $5. Where's my ridiculous hat? Be right back.
Good lord. You need to put some WD-40 in that chair.
It's ridiculous how long it's taken him to find this hat, so it must be pretty ridiculous hat.
That's because you hid it from him, that's why.
Has he already been drinking at all?
I haven't drank.
I think so, yeah.
Where's my wife?
Where is
We can't
she?
hear you from it.
He said she was putting down the little ones or something.
Well, yeah, he's under the weather right now, so we're kind of like,
Oh no,
yeah, little buggy.
that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that little buggy. He's just like his daddy.
How old is he?
8 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, and he's not feeling well, poor baby.
Are you wearing a Crocodile Dundee hat? Are you that cuckish?
The joke's on you. I wanted to wear this hat this whole time.
Wow.
I just wanted an excuse to do it.
That is wild.
It's really going to be hard to fit it over top of my headphones in hindsight, so. He has a head word for what's a Napoleon hat?
Napoleon hat. They're like little. I'm pretty sure they're little.
Rock fluids.
Are they big? Yeah, I guess they are big. They look like a big horseshoe or something.
There we go. Now you guys can't see my hairline.
That's awesome. You look awesome.
Real ones who have, watched a lot of my YouTube videos will recognize this hat. I've worn it before.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Thumping Weevil 07s.
How's it going?
7.
0767. Sarcastic Saint, good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot minute. All right, the whole gang is here except, Ag and a couple of, and K. Well, K2's in the back chat at least, or the normal chat, I mean. K2, another $2 says Cure Influence now. I avow that part. And then he says hashtag Bud Light. Disavow. Absolute disavow. I've been on that boycott for the whole time now. The whole time.
Confluence, don't fool anybody. You know you want a piece of that Dylan Mulvaney butthole.
Oh my
No,
god.
I would not tickle his butthole with a feather. I wouldn't do it, Frankie. Wouldn't do it.
No, you just want to eat his butthole. That's the difference.
Camera blurry. Is my camera blurry? Is that what you're saying?
That's your man.
Your face is just very white.
I think it's the lack of sunglasses. I don't know. I do feel like I'm very overexposed.
He still looks like he could fight a kangaroo.
Maybe if I turn this down a bit. Do I look less white? Not really.
No.
Less white?
You feel like you could take on a kangaroo?
White fluence.
Oh, what about that? That's got to be a little the warm tone.
That's a little warmer, yeah.
That's as warm as I got. Oh, it's like looking at the sun now. Crazy. Okay.
Let's start this video.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It's time.
Currently still alive, woke liberals. My first surrounded claim is that masculinity has never been toxic.
Oh, brother. He gets such easy
1 second. How do you do?
topics. That's the only reason he picked it.
I guess where I want to kind of start is
Oh my God, it's
talking
Kyla!
about masculinity. So I view this. Do you think that
Y'all
this is
know
like socially
Kyla,
emergent?
yeah?
I imagine to some.
No, I don't know who that is.
This is was Destiny's co-host until she I don't know if she's back with him now until the whole Pixie stuff came out. They were like inseparable.
Oh, yeah. Her and Pixie had beef or some shit like that, right?
Well, I mean, Destiny did his whole, someone is like echoing or something. I can't tell who it is.
It's Marilyn.
Oh, it's Marilyn. Or is it thumping? I'm not sure.
I'm on the phone. It's
See, I told you.
Oh yeah,
No,
maybe
like-
it is.
Like, didn't Destiny try to fuck her one time and she was like, "Ew, get away from me, creep."
No, there was a weird thing though where Destiny was in an open relationship, and then this will be brief for people who don't want to hear Destiny lore. And Destiny was in an open relationship, and then Kyla is married, and then briefly was like, "We're going to open our relationship, but not in a real way. We're going to allow ourselves to flirt with other people." Which I don't know why. Like, there's still lines of like no touching and no kissing, no sexual stuff, but we're allowed to
just
flirt. Which is
just talking.
Yeah, which I don't know why. Like, obviously it's fine to talk, but yeah, why like explicitly be like we can flirt? So then people started thinking, are they opening it because of Destiny? And really, they want to, she wants to have sex with Destiny, but there's no confirmation on that. And to my knowledge, Destiny hasn't made a move.
So here's the funny thing, right? So like Thumping didn't know who Destiny was. That's why I fucking showed her who he was, and then
That's crazy,
she was like,
Topanga.
"What the fuck? What the
I don't
fuck
care
is
about
that?"
people like that. I honestly don't.
I mean, Destiny is it's like a car crash though. It's like you probably shouldn't stare at it, but you kind of find yourself, rubbernecking a little bit. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with staring at it?
Well, it's just, there's like people, it's a little bit of, some tragedy tourism, perhaps,
So if a guy gets eaten by a leopard, I shouldn't look at it.
I mean, you're going to look at it, I suppose, but like,
I wonder how many dudes got eaten by leopards.
I gotta figure out the danger levels. Like, I gotta know what's going on.
yeah, sure. Yeah. You should look as much as you need to look, but you shouldn't like gawk and be like, man, that guy's corpse is mangled. Oh my God. You know what I mean? It seems a little disrespectful to both the leopard and the man. You know, they're in their own, private circle. I'm not trying to bug anyone.
I mean, the leopard kind of like was like looking at him like, I don't know if I should eat this dude or not, but fuck it.
Yeah, Sarcastic Saint, you're right. This was a very tactical pause. I paused for two very big reasons.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Okay. Anyway, but yes. First of all, just about this prompt before I play it, I just want to say it's a weird prompt. Masculinity has never been parts of masculinity can have toxic expressions, right? Like you could be like beating your wife. You could argue that's not masculine, but there was also a time in America where it was kind of like seen as like pretty normal to like smack your wife around if she was like acting up. And I would say, in my opinion, and maybe other people disagree, but that was probably like toxic. Now, I would say maybe, it's not actually masculine. So, but he's kind of begging the question a little bit by saying, and that's my guess on what he's going to do. That everything that erudite and everyone else says, he's either going to say it's not toxic, or is he going to say that is toxic, but that's not a part of masculinity. That's just saying my predictions. Okay?
I don't see anywhere.
Well, I think the truth
Sounds about right.
I just don't see anywhere at all that being your wife is masculine at all.
Well, neither do
really
I,
don't.
but it was a thing that men did commonly, I guess, and
Yeah,
it was seen as kind of culturally acceptable.
Yeah, I know. It's like the stick can't be no bigger than your thumb, no wider than your thumb. You can beat her with it, or like use your hand.
The best way to describe it is like when I think of masculinity, like men using force is masculine. Whether that force is good or bad, it still would be masculine. So I would think there would be toxic elements of masculinity inside, I guess the framework. It's not good. Like it's not good in any way. It's just the realities of being male and female.
Yeah, but then you have the whole notion of like whose force is stronger, because like if you're going to use force to give me a sign, a piece of paper, and I say fuck you, make me, like, the fuck are you gonna do about it? I'm literally sitting there ready for your ass. All right, come on, make me sign the fucking paper. And I think that's where force doctrine actually falls in his face. Whereas like, well, we use force doctrine to get our way in and shit. I was like, well, what if somebody says fuck you? What are you gonna do then?
Well, then you would use your masculinity, but you would ultimately fail. Like, well, using your masculinity was bad, but yeah,
right.
I mean. I guess this wasn't an advocation of force doctrine. I guess what I'm expressing is that like there are things you can do with masculinity, or at least the things we call masculinity. There are things you can do inside that are bad and lead to general toxicity in society. And then so I mean, to me, it seems like a bad argument to separate these two. It seems like we should admit it and say, hey, we should improve on this, which we have. To think of kind of a society change in 30 years where beating your wife has become kind of a very stigmatic approach. And that's a great cultural achievement.
Well, yeah, because look, like my prior stint in law enforcement, my main cases were DV. Those were my main cases.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in, what was it? I think it was 4 out of the 5 were male perpetrated. Only the 5th one was both male and female perpetrated, which was the last DV I dealt with. That was a fucking doozy.
Yeah.
But usually it's the male initiating basically the abuse, because it's the whole notion of like she's lesser than, she's smaller, so you could just dominate her, domineering.
Okay, briefly, I want to say, I want to actually ask this, and then we're gonna play the video. You know, the chat's getting bored. Okay, so briefly, I want to ask: would we say, because masculine has never been toxic, would we agree then that femininity has never been toxic? Because I would say there is aspects of femininity, of what we call femininity, that's toxic. Like gossiping is something that females can sometimes partake in, and I would say that's a negative part of femininity, right? Like it's not all like,
Yeah. Well, it's the way they approach conflict. It's like a man would more likely result to a more physical approach. Now, women do too, But if you were just generally look on average, like a woman would more likely go to character assassinations or character damaging types of conflict than she would like a physical response.
Yeah, and so I guess that's what I would say. Like, if you define
yeah.
these things, masculine, feminine, in the most purest forms, then I guess they don't have any toxicity. But if you're honest about like, well, what generally happens with men, what generally happens with women, then yeah, there's a lot of things, and this is a weird prompt. Also, shout out Oxycat. Oxycat wants me to explain the hat, which K2 donated $5 for it. So so my hairline is covered, and I told him I'd wear a weird hat if he donated $5. So this is kind of just an excuse for me to put on the hat. To be honest with you, I like that you just noticed the hat now when you noticed that my hair was parted the opposite direction immediately last time, and I put a giant hat with the crocodile teeth on it. You're like, oh, I just noticed this. And secondly, the Hassan video is not done, but I just saw this. It came out 5 hours ago, and I was like, I gotta do this. Give myself and my audience a little break from Hamas Piker. So that's how we're here. But yeah, we will keep playing the video. And actually, K2 also donated another $2 saying, do a backflip L confluence. I actually was trying to do a backflip a long time ago, trying to learn, and I hurt my neck. So yeah, never succeeded. Never succeeded. And last chat message, Mr. Good to see you. If I didn't say that, no such thing as toxic, masculine, or feminine is all bullshit. Libtard cope term. It's just female and male nature. Yes, I guess I would just say some of the aspects of male nature are negative. Some of the aspects of female nature can be negative. Both are true.
The whole toxic debate about masculinity it's a completely new phenomenon. Before, about 30 years ago, nobody ever used that phrase. It's only really in the last 10 years it's suddenly been amplified and used for absolutely everything. So I thought it might be useful to just start with something that Chris Williamson, you may know him, great guy, and he came on my show recently, and he said that all the following things have been blamed on toxic masculinity in the media in the last year and a half. Gang violence, climate change, the financial crisis, Brexit, the election of Donald Trump, not wearing a face mask, eating meat, physical fitness, fast food, capitalism, communism, hip-hop, smelling of Axe body spray, being stoic, risk-taking, religion, but also secularism and atheism, playing board games, being interested in cars, and saying hello or have a nice day. So I have already committed at least one crime because I've already said hello to you.
That's
so
true.
My point being,
I'm actually really offended by that too.
Sorry?
I said I'm actually very offended by that too.
No, the thing is, I think the point I would make is, I think in a time when young men in particular, I've got 3 sons from 32 to 24, I think we've got to a weird place where they feel like they are the most downtrodden, picked upon people in society, with good reason in many cases. And a lot of it is down to this, where they don't know what masculinity is. My argument is, I don't think it's ever been toxic. What's happened is you have men behaving badly, but you also have women behaving badly, and no one calls that toxic femininity.
Okay, Pierce is
I
confluence coded.
Femininity. I think when you look at, I do. When you look at like gender studies and philosophy on this, right? We use this term called masculinities. And
okay, sorry to pause, but Pharmacat a little bit right. I drank 12 White Claws yesterday. Okay, and some white rum. So the drinks weren't exactly super masculine yesterday.
Femininities, because we understand that like the samurai era of masculinity looks very different than maybe the knights of the round table and whatnot. So we understand that masculinity has somewhat morphed and shifted. And in every form of these masculinities or femininities, there are unhealthy elements to each of them. Could you grant me that?
Well, it depends what you mean. I mean, what do you think masculinity is?
In our society, I think masculinity...
No, not in your society. Just generally, what is it?
Yeah, in North America, we would broadly view it as like...
Well, hang on, you can't just say North America. Masculinity is a thing. It's not like territory specific. It has become that way with the toxic element. Actual masculinity...
I'm kind of a bit on Erudite's side here. I think a large part of what we call masculinity is based on like human culture and stuff. Like I think what is seen as masculine in China is very different than what we see here. I mean, for a basic example, if we look at like, wearing dresses, like there are stuff that look like dresses that Middle Eastern people wear and Scottish people wear kilts. But if you did that in this culture, if I showed up in that kind of garb, everyone would make fun of me. Why? Because they don't see it masculine here. If I was a streamer from the UAE, they wouldn't make fun of me. So there is aspects that change. There's also things that are just fundamentally true, kind of like being the protector is probably usually true, although there's some weird societies where the women do like the hunting and stuff, but probably never the actual fighting.
Well, like, you have to remember, in ancient Sparta, the women were just as tough as the men. And for ancient Sparta, right, if a dude was to marry a woman in ancient Sparta, he would have to grape her. And if she could physically remove him from her, he's not a man. If you don't believe me, fucking Google that shit.
I don't think I want to Google that.
Piers is playing a smart tactic. He wants to nail Erudite's definition of what she means by masculinity down, so that way he's not nebulously arguing at a bunch of different things.
Right.
So I think he's going down a smart avenue to have her generically define what she means when she says masculinity. And
right, but the problem is that he won't accept a definition that's tied to culture. And I see Abe Dinkus's point that he's saying, nope, it's inherent traits of male nature. Some of it is, but again, to go back, if I wore a dress, everyone would say that's not masculine. That's not something inherent to biology or male nature. That's something that certain cultures have decided on, right? We can all agree on that. But I would still get called feminine, just like, there's a lot of things that, the way you do your hair and stuff, right?
Well, yes, but masculinity is such a broad definition. I mean, you want to make sure you know what you're arguing against before you tackle kind of...
Right, but he's trying to almost in some ways making it broader. Agrilepolis, I'm just trying to read your name, disavow anything confluous, Taurus, Rex, Astron. Good to see you, brother. 07s.
Let it play out and see if that's what he argues.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
When it was first devised as a word, it's not an American thing, it's a global thing.
Do you think that Athenian masculinity and Spartan masculinity were the same in the Greeks?
I think masculinity has never changed. All that's changed is the interpretation.
Erudite's got
and
this
what
in the
I
bag.
can't abide is this modern phenomenon that everything about masculinity, everything about being a man, which I am currently identifying as, everything about me is supposedly toxic.
So I would reject the idea that everything that masculinity is toxic. I think that there can be bad elements of anything.
What do you like about men?
What do I like about men? Lots of things. I think that the idea of protectionism is good. I think the willingness to kind of self-sacrifice is very tied to the version of masculinity we have. I think that that's a very good thing. I think the desire to provide is also a really good thing.
See, now she's talking fundamental stuff.
She's talking fundamentals, but then she brought the whole Spartan Athenian thing. You have to understand the Athenians, even though they were boy lovers, but the Athenians were no joke in the battlefield either.
No, but that's still what you just said. I would say being a boy lover is not masculine, okay? And I don't think Agrilepolis would disavow that. But to them, it was. That's the thing. It's like... So,
no, I can't disavow that.
the Spartans did the same thing. The Greeks in general were homosexual.
Okay, but there we go. But in our culture, we would see that as not masculine. So that kind of proves my point. The way we use the term masculine is... It is both an intrinsic thing. It's also culture bound, right?
Like what we know this about the Athenians and the Spartans is that it's like every spring and summer they fight each other. It's like two football teams from different cities going at each other, and then they chill for the winter. That's literally what the Spartans and the Athenians did on a constant basis because there was different city states. But then when the Persians or an outside entity that's outside of Greece threatened Greece, in a sense, Sparta and Athens aligned because it was the sanctity of Greece.
Yeah, I think we're kind of hitting at the same thing. My argument is that I think there are aspects of masculinity that are going to be universal, that are based on biological characteristics, and there's going to be some that are based on cultural characteristics. And I think so. What you're saying about I think you're almost, maybe we are saying the exact same thing, because you're saying they had these differences, even in what they termed as masculine, but when it came down to it to protect their nation, that's a masculine thing to do. That probably is in every single culture, almost guaranteed in every single culture, is a masculine thing to do. So then we see both.
The Battle Marathon was all Athens. There was no other Greek city-state in that. That was all Athens. And Athens put a beat down on the Persians. And the Persians weren't actually, in all honesty, weren't in a sense, masculine as we come to think of masculinity, because like our Western ideals of masculinity comes from Greek and Rome.
Right. Okay. Wait. So we are saying the same thing. So you agree? Western definitions of masculinity. There could be Eastern definitions, and then there's probably also some like something that unites both of them that is like transnational.
Well, hold on. Eastern definition of
not
masculinity.
In a trans way, in a normal way.
Hold on, Confluence. The Eastern view of masculinity stems from the Chinese and the Japanese, the samurai culture.
Right.
The samurai culture and the Chinese Jin culture. You know, the Jin dynasty and the Jing dynasty. So then what we have, right, is two compelling different aspects of masculinity, but it just depends on the part of the world that you're in. Because
that's Erudite's point. Pierce is saying, no, I don't want to hear about the part of the world. Tell me just what masculinity is. And that's kind of there's two ways we kind of use that word, right?
I think you're misinterpreting where Pierce is coming from, because he's just asking, like, on a generic level, what do you define as masculinity? So when we get the definition, we can then apply it to the culture and what you mean by that.
Yeah, maybe he wants just a fully macro definition, and I guess we're hopefully moving into that.
Like, if we're going to go with the Greek analogy, the Greek analogy that Erudite is saying, she, in a sense, is painting herself into a corner, because what we really know of masculinity comes from Greece and it comes from Rome. Because you can't say that the Persians were masculine.
Part of it doesn't. You just said that the Greeks were all like into pederasty and stuff, which they were, they saw that as still being masculine. We wouldn't say that. So some of our idea of masculinity comes from the Greeks. Some of it doesn't. Right? We picked and chose what we think is masculine.
Yeah, that's true, dude. And of course, I disavow all kinds of PDF shit. I disavow it. I believe all PDF should die horribly in front of like the entire planet. That's just my opinion. But like, you know, in terms of masculinity, what was it? Alexander the Great. He had to learn from his father's commanders, and they weren't easy on him. They were really rough with Alexander.
I don't know. I'm not sure where you're going with that, Frankie. But
basically, it says Alexander wasn't a pompous little prince boy as the Persian princes were. Alexander only lost one wrestling match, and that was to his lover Hephaestion.
I'm still not sure. I'm not sure where you're going. Frank, you got to land the plane with the Greek stuff. Not sure where you're going.
I'm just going too down in the weeds, because look, I love Greek history, dude.
I could tell.
Greek history with Frankie Two Speed on the Confluence channel.
You're fucking right.
Sponsored by Big Soda.
We'll see. Yeah, sponsored by Big Soda. We'll see if we get the definition we want or desire.
And stand up for like principles and strength. I think all of these things are wonderful things. Well, the issue,
like men to be hunters, providers, protectors.
I don't really care about them being hunters.
Really? Well, how are they going to get all these things to help you and protect you?
In this economy, I'd prefer them just to be like fiscally capable. Let's go back to the Athenians. Let's go back to Athenians and Spartans, though, right? If you want to say masculinity has always been the same, well,
Frankie, don't say
history
anything.
would disagree with you, right? In Athens, for example, it was completely normal for you to participate in civility and talk and do philosophy. But Spartan men, for example, wouldn't even touch coins, but they viewed it as a very different thing.
Whereas what's that got to do with them being masculine?
Well, because the version of masculinity that they had viewed certain things like commerce as feminine. If you go to samurais, they viewed poetry as masculine, whereas if you go to like Victorian era, poetry is often associated with femininity.
But what does any of that got to do with toxic masculinity?
Because if we look at masculinity, we have to acknowledge that it is emergent out of a society that we are participating in. When I said, well, in North America, you rejected that, and I go, well, that's the foundational piece of this. What we're talking about, toxic masculinity, is essentially a North American version of masculinity that we seem to not like.
Well, no, it's not. It's a symptom of, and forgive my phraseology here, but it's a symptom of weak, whiny, woke wastrels who've decided they're going to revise what masculinity is.
I think it's
they're
a generation.
Are they like triggered?
Give you a chance to respond. And they're going to make all men feel terrible. They're going to.
When enough flags get raised, then Erudite gets voted out, and they move on to the next one.
All right, so her notion of poetry, right?
Frankie, it doesn't. You're getting in the weeds again. I can already predict it. It doesn't matter. She could be wrong. She could be right. The point is.
Victorian, though.
I know. It doesn't matter if she's wrong, though. We get her point, even if she's fully wrong. Some cultures cultures, yes, certain things were seen as feminine traits. In some cultures, they were seen as masculine. We know this to be true. There's a million examples. Maybe her example's wrong. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Splooge, hey boys, splooge.
Make men hate themselves. They're going to make everybody else hate men. And at that point, I'm like, what are you doing here? Why would women, for example, want their men to be weak, whiny, woke wastrels?
Well, I think the issue that you're neglecting here is the high levels of intergenerational trauma amongst men. I mean, if
Section
we go back to
230,
World
good
War
to
II,
see you.
it's followed by the Vietnam War.
Good
right?
to
We
meet
see
you
men
for the
dying
first
by the
time.
thousands, and then they come back and they have PTSD, and then they go off again and die by the thousands. And so when we look at like the lack of masculinity and masculine role models, we have to understand this through a lens of understanding that like men have been like scooped out and killed over and over, and then when they come back, they're destroyed. And there isn't really an answer for men. I agree that there's this systemic lacking of answer on the left for men in a lot of ways. The issue is that we can't address
I think the left
problem.
hate men. I mean,
Just to pause you.
They do. Even movies like Barbie.
I'm left.
Okay.
The left do hate men.
Here's
broadly.
a little secret for
Not
you.
all left.
I'm slightly left. I'm an old-fashioned liberal.
Do you hate men?
I'm not a. You see, they all think probably I'm a right-wing headbanger. I'm not. I'm an old-fashioned liberal. I believe in liberalism, and I believe there's nothing wrong with being feminine or masculine. I hate the way that masculinity has been tarred with this brush of everything about it is toxic.
I agree. But the issue is that you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to look at things like Victorian Stoicism and recognize how that has harmed young men because
Stoicism?
Don't
be ridiculous.
Hold on, Victorian Stoicism, not Greek, not Greco
But
Stoicism.
Stoicism generally is a good trait.
I love Stoicism, Hellenistic Stoicism, not Greek.
Oh my
Well, let me
God.
read you something. You've raised Stoicism. The American Psychological Association released a set of guidelines to help psychologists work with men and boys, in which it stated that male masculine traits like stoicism, competitiveness, achievement, eschewal of the appearance of weakness, adventure, and risk should all be discarded. Now, I would categorize all of those things as the very best of being.
Okay, let's read that. Let's read this fact check. Straight from the APA, okay? The Association of the American Psychological Association. Components of traditional masculinity, such as emotional stoicism, homophobia, not showing vulnerability, self-reliance, and competitiveness might deter them from forming close relationships with male peers.
See, they had to add the homophobia. They had to add that in there, right? They had.
I mean, everything else in there is cucked as well.
Not showing vulnerability.
Self-reliance.
Self-reliance.
Like
Homophobia?
competitiveness. Like these are things that these things help me form close relationships with male peers.
Help.
Emotional
Like if I'm
stoicism.
competitive with even like you, Frankie, if I'm competitive and we're like debating, or me and Emmett are debating, that helps form, close friendships. Like it doesn't do the opposite. Like what the fuck?
So check this out, right? So check this out. Like one of my favorite quotes from Marcus Aurelius is this. He asked, like in his book, The Meditations, he asked himself how to be a good man. How to be a good man. Should I do this? Should I do that? And ultimately the answer was this: be a good man. That was it. That's the answer.
I disagree with homophobia.
That's stupid. They had to add that in there. God.
But I think homophobia has led me to make a lot of male friends that I don't have sexual urges to.
Exactly.
But I guess
Well,
let's say Big Soda, if you were homoerotic, you would probably form close bonds with other males, right? So I mean, they're not wrong, right? They're not wrong. It's not the kind of relationships we want.
Not in a gay way.
All right.
No,
I mean,
in a gay way. In a very gay way.
Check this out, right? So check this out. In the Bible, in the Holy Bible, David and Jonathan were closer than brothers. Closer than brothers.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what the wokes do? They say, hey, actually, what the Bible was just too scared to say was that they're actually gay lovers.
That is fucking ridiculous.
I've heard that. I've sat in secular theology classes when I did my secular side of my schooling, and they taught that. They taught that it was like they just couldn't say it at the time, but they were definitely gay lovers because it says they loved. David said, there's a Bible quote where David says, I love Jonathan more than I could love any woman. And then they have to make it in a gay way. And David literally meant it in a normal way.
Yeah, David meant it in a normal, like David's relationship with Jonathan was so so ambient in terms of battle. Because it's like what the leftists doesn't understand, what these dumbass leftists don't understand, is just that battlefield brings men together in a different way. Brings men together in a way that is not, that they cannot understand, that they will not understand, that they cannot conceivably understand. All right, they want to just rationalize it as gay sex. No, David was completely heterosexual. He went after any fucking woman he saw. There is no doubt about that in mind. The Bible was clear on that.
This guy seems bothered, like the guy on screen.
Well, he probably haven't got fucked in the ass by a dude in a while. That's why.
He is a bit bothered.
See, like when Jonathan died, David wept. When Jonathan died, he wept for a brother. He was at war with Jonathan's father for God's sakes. All right, like. The fuck? Jonathan didn't side with David. Jonathan sided with his father, and David understood that.
Yeah. We're getting a little off topic, and I was responsible for this as well. But
I'm about to go anyways. I'm about to hit my stream, so I'll come back after I'm done with my stream, dude.
All right, yeah.
Perfect.
Frankie
See you in
playing
a little bit,
Hitman.
Frankie.
Thank you guys.
All right,
Later.
see ya.
07s.
07s.
You get Frankie talking about the Greeks, the Jews. You know, what else does Frankie like? The military, you know? Then he just sounds off, that's what I love about Frankie, you know?
Those are his topics, man. Some people are passionate about their topics.
Yeah.
Like mine are the little hat people.
Me too, brother. Probably not in the exact same way as you, but, you know.
It's complete opposite.
Yeah, maybe complete opposite. But I get those Hasbara bucks, so that kind of... The shekels, as Emmett would sing. So
it's okay. I get guitar money, so you know.
Man. Okay. I guess it's all coming from the same place in a way.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah, from little hat people.
A real man. Why would you want them discarded?
I don't want most of those things. Let's talk about stoicism.
Then I think we agree with each other. I think you agree with me too much. Anyway, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you. Okay.
I will say this is another thing about Piers. He can be really nice.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Piers.
How are you?
Ceci.
Ceci, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Ceci?
Okay. First, I want to say that I don't think that masculinity is toxic.
Great.
I just think
Debate
that
over.
some men use their.
Hang on. Debate over.
No, it's not.
That's the whole point
the
of my
problem
argument. I agree
is,
with you.
No. Because you're talking about a trait, right? So I don't think masculinity is toxic. I think men use their masculinity in toxic ways or hide other traits that are toxic behind their masculinity.
Okay, I don't agree with that. Here's why. They're not using their masculinity. They're just being bad people.
Okay.
So
but
I think there's a clear difference.
So then men like Andrew Tate, when they are bad people, but then stand like, I'm a protector, I'm a provider, they're using their masculinity as
I've interviewed Andrew Tate a number of times. Here's what I think about him. I think he says a lot of things which young men gravitate to because very few other people are trying to empower them about the way they look. Hang on. Okay.
No, I'm not.
Let me finish my sentence.
I can have a facial reaction to you if I want to, right?
Actually, that's fair enough. You can. He can look horrified. But here's the point about Andrew Tate, is a lot of the things he says, I know why they resonate with young men. Okay. Because young men feel sort of worthless, they feel disenfranchised by society, they're not sure where to go. Many of them lack father figures. There's chest-beating Andrew Tate saying, keep fit, don't abuse yourself too much.
Just women.
Well, I'm going to come to that. And so he says all these things, which men go, yeah, that's good. And aspire to be great, aspire to be successful.
Yeah, not to be petty,
work
but
hard and all this.
doesn't she just have one huge-ass hoop earring, and that's it?
Oh, I got to see it now. I did not catch that.
I don't see one in the other ear either.
And women should be.
Okay, she has one on the left for
never allowed to
sure.
vote.
I know who he is.
Never allowed to work. I know, but my point is, I agree with you about that.
Look how far down that sucker goes.
It's horrible, but that's not toxic masculinity.
But
that is
that's
actually
a
for it.
Oh my god, yeah, that is just an asymmetrical.
Where's the other one?
I knew Ceci was sussy. I mean, me and Big Soda both pointed that out. So
I'm not trying to be too petty or anything, but
there's a bit.
The reason,
like
but I think that all
out
of this
of
was
me.
fueled by people like Andrew Tate, because, like you said, toxic masculinity. We've never spoke about this before, but I think the reason it's on the table now is because of men like Andrew Tate. It's not because of women calling men.
So call
toxic.
it what it is. Call him a
literally
misogynist.
because red pill podcasters, especially during the pandemic, if you were already a loner, you became even more alone. So they needed a community. So everyone's living life online, in these, what they thought was a community, because all these men did was validate their shitty feelings that they already had about themselves.
Yes, but
It was an echo chamber, and they have to keep them sad and angry, tell them to place the blame on women and minorities so that they get their pockets filled.
But here's the thing.
They monetized
Am I allowed to get a
insecurities
word
and
in?
trauma. You can have your facial
Time out.
reactions.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Politely.
Go ahead.
I think what you're talking about is misogyny. There's already a word for that. It's not toxic masculinity. That's the point of my argument.
She's
I don't
an
think
asymmetrical
masculinity
nightmare.
has ever been
Section
toxic.
230.
I do think some men are horrible misogynists
But do you think
and should
some
be
of them
called
hide
out,
behind
as
it?
I call them
mean,
out.
Don't you think some men hide behind their masculinity? Like, I'm sick of hearing men say, we have to protect and provide.
Why shouldn't we?
Well, no. But the thing is
Yeah,
half
yeah.
of you, what are you going to protect me from?
I do hate when men say that. You know, why would we want a guy that protects and provides? What terrible traits? What toxic masculinity?
Yeah, those are the worst.
So
Wanting
horrible.
to protect and provide? That's
Not-
like
not
gives
the
me
violent.
that gives me the ick. You know, when I hear that, it gives me the ick.
Sorry, I'm
Nightmare
dealing with a sick baby right now, but I'm back now. We
Welcome
haven't
back.
been
Do
on.
your thing.
Something
Haven't been on for
when
couple minutes.
you think of when a guy says I want to protect and provide, does that give you the ick?
No. No.
Yeah. Okay. Good. A little sanity
Hold
check.
on.
Okay. Hashtag
It
not
do-
all women.
It does
Well,
if he's
that's what my
homeless.
husband does. So, and,
Yeah.
If
it's
he's a bum on the
a pretty
street,
good trait for a man to have.
Yeah. You would. I would have thought that even the left would agree that those are still like good things to do. But apparently,
Look at her hair. Look at her hair.
I guess
that's
yeah.
the point.
Like it's
With her
crazy to me
attitude.
how far, because like so I was just with a group of friends, right? Some of them left, some of them right, and it's like some of them are like definitely on the left, but they would not deny that statement. They wouldn't say wanting to protect and provide is a bad thing. Like in real life, I've never met a lefty who said that, right? And then you meet pink hair girl, sussy, or whatever her fucking name is, and it's like this is a negative trait, you know? Like there's so many negative traits you could point to. You could at least try to steel man them, right? But you're gonna pick like two objectively good things that a lot of men want to do and be like, yeah, that's what the problem is.
Another
Too much protecting, too much providing.
man, and half of them can't hunt down a job. Like, I don't.
Or other women.
Or other women, sure, yeah, other people. But that's the thing I'm saying is that men, I don't understand why. I feel like a lot of blame gets placed on women for all of this, but in reality, you've done it to each other.
I don't blame women. For
You've
anything.
done it to each other.
I don't blame women for any of this. I think well, actually, that's not completely true. I blame some.
Yeah, as Tamika says, if I'm saying your name right, next time a guy is creepy to a woman in your life, allow it. Don't be toxic and protect them. Yeah. If I see something untoward happening, I'll be like, hey, I would step in, but I don't want to be toxic. So, you know, you can
I'm
handle
being
it.
toxic right now. I need to leave.
I need to leave. I need to let you be, harmed.
Independent.
Women who have deliberately, in my opinion, like a lot of men have done too, taken the word masculinity and they have traduced it into meaning something it was never intended to mean. Like I said, those words which the American Psychological Association have deemed unacceptable and should
The
be
APA
discarded
is fucked,
are all the
okay? The
absolute
APA is
foundation
absolutely fucked.
of what I believe it takes to be a man.
Oh, damn it. I wanted
Just
to
when we're getting to know each other.
pick me for the last 10. I got a lot to say.
I'll think about it.
Don't, Pierce. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna be honest. Pick her because she's easy. She's easy to defeat her argument.
Good to see you.
What's your name?
Parker.
Parker, I'm
Oh,
Piers.
we got
I've been on your show,
Parker.
bro.
Yes, I thought I recognized.
Wait, is Pierce? Am I autistic? Is Pierce joking here? Let me watch this again. Because Pierce and Parker have talked a bunch of times. Is this a
Yeah,
joke?
but Parker looks a little different.
I've been on your show, bro.
Yes, I thought I recognized you.
Pretty short shorts.
When was that?
After the Jordan Peterson Jubilee debate.
To be fair, he's
Yes,
got a lot of
you
people on
did.
his
He has
show.
quoted us as atheists.
I think he's being legit. That's crazy. He's had Parker on his show, I think, a bunch of times, hasn't he? I guess
If we look
I
at
guess
him, he
has a
looks
lot
kind of different.
He does look a bit different, but I don't know. Testicular
That-
Johnson uses his 1 month membership. I always remember you, Testicular Johnson, of course, for our great talk. And especially your very memorable username helps with that. W moderates, L conservatives. Oh yeah. Well, that's me and Testicular Johnson. We got into the weeds a little bit. Brother, you should panel up. You could help these woke people.
On Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
With your moderation.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I think it was ridiculous. I'm literally straight, but
Oh, you're straight.
But good to see you,
well, then
Johnson,
I can
for
understand
real.
why you'd find that annoying.
I don't find it annoying. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to use that as an argument. But in
I
general,
will not call you a gaytheist.
okay. In general, the point that I would make
He is
here
a
is that toxic
gaytheist.
masculinity is kind of an overexpression of certain masculine traits that we
He's
see
bi-
in
not
certain
in a
contexts to be
bi-atheist
harmful. We're not
way.
saying all masculine traits are harmful or it's harmful to be a masculine man. It's certain characteristics that we would
Which
associate with
masculine trait do
masculinity.
you think is harmful?
Yeah, like for example, an overexpression of stoicism, and I think that a lot of red pill people.
What?
Wait, hold up. Let me explain. I said an overexpression
How
of
can
stoicism.
stoicism ever
Be overexpressed?
Ever be a bad thing? Explain to me.
Yeah. So again, if you were to specifically hide your feelings and put them underneath, specifically for like say the death of a loved one, I don't think that would be harmful. I mean, positive specifically for you addressing your feelings in that circumstance. I think you should address those feelings, talk about them, express them to loved ones and people that are comfortable.
Oh, look at that. Kieran with the gifted membership, or I mean, K2 with the gifted membership, and it goes to Kieran. It couldn't have gone to a better dude, okay? And I got Kieran's, look, I knew I'm a sometimes prophet. That's why I'm wearing the Aussie hat. How would I fucking know that? Holy shit. I'm just like in the divine, current right now, okay? God, there's other reason I paused, but I can't remember what it was now. Shit. Let me go back 5 seconds. There's something I was gonna say.
In that circumstance.
Oh yeah, okay. And people might disagree with me, but I'm curious to hear the panel's thoughts and the chat's thoughts. Okay, so I would say I would kind of, if I'm to Steelman Parker, which I never want to be in a position of doing because I think he's bad faith and not a good person. But I think if I had to, it's like an overexpression of stoicism. I do think that can happen. I think we've all met kind of guys that are like too emotionally detached that it's like they're not feeling their own emotions. They can't empathize with other people's emotions because they've kind of like tried to shut off that part of their brain so much that it leads to like almost a lack of understanding of human psychology or the human mind or the human emotions. And like there's a traditional, like I think we all have like grandparents or like older people that we know that are kind of like this, where it's like back in their day, they were just told to like, no, don't think about that stuff. Because I've had conversations with old people where it's like, you ask them about their own like mortality and they're like, I've never thought about that before. Right. And it's like, I think that's a symptom of like that you were just taught to just like think good thoughts and just like march on and don't let any bad thoughts enter your mind and be stoic and never show any emotion and never show vulnerability. And I think stoicism is good, but I think there is an amount of it that can be over. How do you guys feel about that?
Disagree.
Say more.
Okay, so generally when I think of stoicism, I think of people's responses in either tragic or, I guess, tragic or negative circumstance. I don't think that is ever a bad thing. I think if you're in a tragic situation, like your loved one dies, and then your family's emotional, I think it's a positive thing for someone to, I guess, quell their emotions.
Wait, hold on. Did my stream die?
I hear you.
No, my stream though. Oh my God, it was suspended due to policy violations.
Wait, what? You're not live anymore?
Yeah, I guess I'm not live. What the fuck? Is it Jubilee?
It could be.
Oh, stream unavailable. Yeah, what the fuck?
Jubilee is notoriously litigious. I've seen this with videos. When I made a video reacting to Jubilee, they will like copyright strike the video, which only usually happens with like actual audio. So I'm just gonna quickly check what the copyright issue is, and I'm assuming it is Jubilee. In which case, we will sadly have to go back to the Hassan one. I was really excited to watch this, but they're just gonna fuck it again.
Yeah, this is something I could actually get into. I don't give a shit about Hassan or anything.
The Hassan.
Yeah, I was excited about this.
Hassan, like I know, like you probably want to get through it, but it's just something that ugh.
To be fair, have y'all gotten into the part where there's like bigger disagreements? Because I think mostly of what we've seen, it wasn't really a disagreement. They were just kind of letting Hassan get his points off.
Yeah, it's been getting better.
Yeah, I mean, if they actually